So in this week's update, we have got a little bit from Great Eccleston Show up in Lancashire, but mainly from there will be tractor pulling. Found that really fascinating, got some great clips, and talking to Dave Jones, who's done a lot of tractor pulling over the years, and his father did as well, so we've got some great footage of tractor pulling. Also here we're looking at the impacts of the weather. We've had a lot of rain this last night as well, so we're looking at that, some of the crops around the farm. Also we're starting to store oilseed rape, and this is oilseed rape for ADM, but it's other farmers' oilseed rape, so take a look at that. And also a bit of a look around the farm at what the effects of the weather are doing, and also one or two little workshop jobs we've got going on as well, and also a little issue in the grain store, in one of the grain stores. So that's it for this update. You can see I've got a coat on because it's raining at the minute still, and it just makes you wonder when this weather is going to end. St Swithin's Day was only yesterday, was it day before? Anyway, and it did rain here on St Swithin's Day, and of course it rains for, is it 40 days and 40 nights, or 30 days and 30 nights, whatever. But I know sometimes it does ring true. When it rains on St Swithin's Day, we don't end up with a very good harvest. Anyway, we'll see. So thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you at the end. Now got to the tractor pull area, and Dave Jones, Smokey, who's got this international here. He's just warming the tractor up. We're going to have a word with Dave in a minute. He'll tell us all about the tractor and the engine and what goes on in the pull. And Dave, how long have you been doing this job?
Oh, since I was 16, but Dad started in 1979, so
yeah.
45 years.
Yeah. And this case you've got, it's all built from ground up. It's not really a case, is it?
No, it's a component tractor, so we're allowed a fabricated chassis, and we put our components in within the rule book. Yeah. So it's a measured length, maximum weight of 3.5 tons for our category. So it's not big weight.
No, there isn't.
A bit heavier than a Range Rover.
Yeah.
But we have to have about 200 kilos of movable weight to balance the tractor.
And that's you have to move it by hand from the front to the back or whatever.
So we come over the weighbridge to get on our optimum weight. Yeah. Drawbar height's checked at 20 inches max. Right. Because that's the same for everybody. Yeah. And then I can then adjust weight around.
There's no regulations in front or back ratio?
I can choose where I put the weight once I've been weighed. Right, yeah. Tyre pressures are critical.
Yes.
We're turning these nearly 100 mile an hour.
Crikey. There's no tread on them much?
Very, very thin tread, laid back to shift the dirt.
Oh, so right.
With the high wheel speed, we're throwing it under the sledge.
Yes.
To get that momentum.
Right, got you.
And then it's a match today. I've got 2 forward gears, forward speeds, and then they're about 15 miles an hour apart. Right. So to balance the engine RPM, I have to choose the right gear today so the engine's singing.
Crikey.
So I'm aiming to run around 6,000 RPM engine revs. Yeah. We've got about 110 psi boost pressure going in. Yeah. And then we should be using about 5.5, 6 gallons of fuel from here to that other end.
And horsepower of the engine?
We've got the potential for 4,500, and we know that from dynoing and what friends do with them in America, but we'll be around the 4.3.
Crikey. And how many turbos you got?
3.
Wow.
In 2 stages. Yeah. So the top 2 that you can see, they produce about half the boost, and then the bottom turbo makes the rest that I wastegate. Yeah. So today in the UK we've just got myself and Peter Clark and Jeff Ashcroft that run the Red Alert. Yeah. Legendary tractor, been around for years. I've been on the circuit with this. I've done British 10 championships, European wins. I've had a great lot of fun. But today it's about wherever's Jeff and I've had a few issues with the tractor. But
here's his team. Yeah, that's right. Brilliant. Oh yeah, you're saying this is all. That's all you can see in there. Dials. And you were saying about the panels have all come from Case tractors.
Yeah, they're all original Magnum 270 panels. Yeah. We wanted to keep that look. Like back then it was a new hood. Yeah. But over the time we've just changed some slight deckling and things to keep it modern. Yeah. I still like the style.
Yes, I know what you mean. When you look at it, it does look stunning. It really does.
And the line's through to the roll cage.
Yeah, I can see that. It's straight through. Yeah. Fantastic. And it runs on methanol. Yeah, brilliant.
So you got obviously you got the those engines we can hear behind us are Rolls-Royce Griffins out of a Shackleton bomber.
Brilliant.
And there's 2 of those on one machine called Snoopy 3. If you have a look round, you'll see them.
What are they?
So they're 2 Rolls-Royce Griffins, side by side. Only thought in the world where you'll see 2 aircraft engines on a machine. Probably producing around 6,000 horsepower. Right. Fantastic machine, and Twickenham's have been in the job as long as we have. Really skilled people. Really? Yeah. Fantastic. Farming people as well.
Are they?
And the beauty of the sport is what we learn with the engineering we develop.
Right, and when are you running? In a few minutes?
Yeah, probably 15 minutes.
Alright, Dave, thanks for the talk. That one's just been pulled onto the weighbridge. As Dave said, they're not allowed to be overweight, have to be dead on. They're reweighting the sledge for the class that Dave's in. So add weight in. There you go. Dave's just getting ready to do his run. Right, I'm going to go up there on the bank where the rest of the crowd are and try and go fairly well down so I can get a full look at the track. Crikey, that was loud. Here comes Dave. Gonna go on the front, back up to the sledge. Jeff Ashcroft.
We shall see. We get 2 green flags
down the track.
Green light on the sled. Go on, Jonesy.
That was one hell of a pull. The sledge is self-propelled and it makes its way back to the start of the track for the next run. Then they have levelers, track levelers, graders running up and down to level it all, so it's all consistent. Then you have a roller up there that's rolling it, so it's all fairly consistent for each tractor. Just coming to collect this one to take it to the edge of the track. those on there so that the tractor can't tip back. Jeff's putting some methanol. There we go. Yeah. How many putting in? All that? 20 litres?
Hold on, I'll have a look. Normal run, it'll burn 30 in 10 seconds.
Right. What do you reckon to that? You did bloody well there.
Yeah, I'm really pleased. I've spent the last year or two developing this new fuel system and progressively working at it because that's the cheaper way to do it.
Yeah. And your front out wheels off the floor, they were just hovering, weren't they?
They just lifted and carried the gear. It was running 6,000 RPM.
Yeah.
And I backed off. And,
I can see that.
And then great. Hopefully Jeff's getting nearer now. I
was going to say he was just, his engine wasn't quite right, was it?
They've had a bit of a gremlin with it for the last year or two, but they're getting there.
Yeah.
And
good.
You know, we love. It's a great competition to have between us.
It's fantastic. Well, I'll send you that clip we've just shown you. Then you've got it. Thanks. Brilliant. Well done. It's Monday morning and I've just come to Ireland's Farm Machinery, which are near Boston, and they are Stewart trailer agents, but I've just come to hire the back wing topper across there. So I'm just waiting for somebody to come and bring some paperwork. That's the mower that I've come to pick up. We've got some wildflower grass areas to do, and also a couple of paddocks either side of the yard at the glebe at the main farm. So they are Grange machinery agents, and this is where our strip till cultivator came when we had it in the sugar beet. We'll do an update on that in this next week. And they are also Kubota agents, ground care as well. But I think Kubota tractors only go up to like 220 horsepower, maybe 200, I'm not quite sure, something like that. They don't go up to the large ones anyway. So this is the mower that I fetched. We have to put it on the case Puma because it's 1,000 PTO, but the splines where it fits into the back of the tractor there, where that shaft goes in, you have what you call 1,000 RPM and 540 RPM. And the 1,000 RPM, the shaft has got, I think it's 21 splines, and the 540 has 6 or 7. It's a lot less, so you have to, and it runs at different speeds. So we have to put it on the Puma because the fast track hasn't got the option of 1,000 RPM PTO. It's Tuesday morning and we've just had 28 millimetres of rain last night, which to be honest we could have done without. The sugar beet just near me here is starting to stand water again. We'll show you that in a second, but we haven't any crops ready for harvesting yet. I know some farmers are busy combining oilseed rape, and that won't have done them any favours, because when you get heavy rain like this and the pods are ready and the ripe, ready for harvesting, the pods shell out and all the rape seed falls out and falls on the floor and you lose it. So you don't want heavy rain this time of year, which we've got. We've also got some barleys. I think that I should say they'll be starting to lean and go down. There were the other day after a rain, so we'll go around there in a minute and have a look at that. So this is one of our best fields of wheat. Only a little bit in the far corner near those trees that we had flooding on, water stood on it in the winter, but otherwise still very green. You can see when you look there, still a big tinge of green to it, but starting to look good, and it will I think that'll be our best yielding wheat. This is the barley that I was thinking would be flat. You can just see there's a little area there started to go down, but it's not as bad as I thought. But you can just see it's not very even at all. You can just see how uneven it is all the way across the top. Normally it should be like a snooker table, but that's just because the soil's not in brilliant condition underneath, and we need to get it loosened up, pulled up with the solo when we can. When you look through there, it just looks very uneven and very irregular, but a long way off harvest. This one is so green, drilled I think about the middle of April. When you look how green it is, we won't be harvesting that till well into September. There's a patch there that's going down. I don't know particularly why it's just there. This is the field that we've had water stood on it all winter in various patches. I should think this corner's got a fair bit of water in when we turn the corner. Oh crikey, a bit more than I thought. Just carrying on round the farm. This is one of the other fields that had a lot of water stood on over the winter time. And then this is one of the no spray areas that we rounded off about 3 weeks ago now. So all those weeds are dying now. Obviously the bits of wheat are as well, but there's very little wheat there. You can see all the brown weeds going. Yeah, not brilliant this morning driving around the farm. This is one of our fields of the Capulet beans we've got that will turn into baked beans. But what you can see mostly are the black oats. Now, I'm not going to go in too much because I've only got shorts on and not my wellies, and it's still very, it's very wet. But you can see the black oats now really motoring how tall they are. But there are the beans in the bottom. So I think we need to be taking these out now because they are starting to take light nutrients away from the beans. But the beans are looking quite healthy actually amongst there, but I think we maybe will be taking these black oats out with a herbicide that will leave the beans. But I'll touch more on this in Sunday's update. And these 2 lorries have been here probably 2.5 hours maybe. Just as the first one arrived, we had a power cut, so of course we couldn't weigh them in. And we didn't realise that it was a planned closure of the power, not a power cut. And the letter came while I was on holiday, which I didn't see, to say they were going to be closed, or the power was going to be down from 10 AM to 3 PM today. And if we'd known that, we'd have made sure we hadn't got any rape lorries come in today. So what we've had to do is we've had to take them to a local farm to weigh, so we can get them out of the way, so the power's not going to come on for a few more hours. That is the button there for the door, so you just press that in that little red button there, and that's what we call an air door, so it's a lot safer. But as this is last year's rape from last year's harvest, this is quite cool anyway. I think it's only about 16 degrees. Beauty of having a high shed, you can get tipped up really high. Ruben's just waiting with the leaf blower just to blow the back of the lorry down. I don't like trailing rape all outside here. But this is the problem when it's wet. Lorries trail of wet into the shed. 7:30 Wednesday morning, and we've got 1 lorry waiting to tip. We're just getting these pushed up before we can tip that load. We will add an extension on the top of that when we get a bit more rape in, and then the motor goes on top of that, the fan that cools it. This is what the tubes are like to start with. So that's what's buried in the crop, and there are some, you can just see daylight through. There's like little slots cut in them, and so when you put the motor on the top and it's sucking all the air through the heap, in the hot air through the heap, up through that. We put the tubes on the top, of course, to make it whatever height we like. And then these have a hessian on. You'll see that one's got a hessian on, because if you're not careful, sometimes the rapeseed, you can see there's a slot, it gets stuck in here. So we put a hessian around the outside that still keeps the airflow, but it doesn't, the rapeseed doesn't go inside the tube. So this lorry's just backing into this corner while Ruben carries on pushing up there. Need to undo the clamps halfway up the door. That's it. Same that. Okay, thank you. I'll do. We'll leave that one to the last one of all. Bang that up. There we go. One little workshop job that's been going on is making a hydraulic jack to go on the front of the Solo here, so that when Tom takes it off, you can just plug it into the hydraulics. But what I think he's going to do is we're going to, that's what is made, and got it to paint and everything. Yeah, but that ram will go in. If I can do it one-handed, that will go in upside down. In there, obviously there's a pin going through there, and then sit down like that, and then have a wooden block. So I have a wooden block that will go in there, similar to that one, then put a wooden block underneath it, because the stroke of the ram's not long enough to go right to the floor. And anyway, having a wooden block underneath it stops it sinking in if you drop it in a field into soil. So that's what we've just got to finish that off and get that painted. I think it's going to plumb it into one of these pipes, so that on the tractor, on the RX mudguard, there's some external services and buttons on to operate hydraulic services, so you can stand it from the back, from the back of the tractor. In fact, I'll just show you on the RX across there now. It's still on the Elita. That's some seed we've got of the countryside stewardship, and one of the contract farms. We've got to put that in, which we're going to do now as soon as it dries up a bit in the next day or two. So here are the buttons to work the external services from the back of the tractor. So we'll be able to work it from here. This is obviously the Elita, but this has got, we're going to put a hydraulic jack on here as well. But it's not going to be quite so easy, because this drawbar is solid. There's solid steel in there. When we had this made, or when we made this rather, there's so much weight on it that it was constantly lifting up, and it wasn't very much weight on the tractor. So we took that lid off there, and we slid steel up this box section here. That way, as we put steel in there and put the lid, welded the lid back down. So that drawbar is actually solid steel, and it weighs about 750 kilograms from memory, so 3/4 of a ton. So I'm just having a look in the shed here. Just want to show you with Tom, we have got a blockage underneath this floor. So this is one of the drive over drying floors we've got, where we put grain in up to 5 meters deep. But the grain has got down the back of the shed, and the mice have got in and chewed it, and they're very, very difficult to get at. So we're going to have to take a bit of floor up, and Tom's here just helping with Ruben. We're just going to try and get it sorted, but it will mean probably welding a bit of metal or something on as well. But I'll just show you what I mean. Just shining the light underneath, and you can see, there we go. Can you see through there? And that, so it's blocked just about where Nala is here. So you can hear the fans are on, and that's because they're trying to clean this blockage out from under the floor, and you use the air pressure from the fans to actually try and force any wheat that's under the floor, any crop, to the end where it's open, where you can hoover it. That's just a compressor we've hired to blow the sheds down and for harvest. So Tom's just switched off the fans, and you could see when the full pressure was on how it was moving this wheat. So they have actually finally got it cleared under there now, which is good. That's all the corners that's blown out from underneath. We think it's been blocked a year or two without realising, just this little section in the middle. So that's what it does, it blows it to the end. And you can hoover it out. Ruben and Tom have got the piece of wood out down at the bottom here, but we've now got to decide what we're going to do. So what we've decided to do is we are going to cut. We've got some angle iron I'm going to pick up that will come down there and along there, but we're actually not going to put it on top of that, because these are recessed where the grills are. We're going to have to fill it again. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut across there, all the way across the whole width of that shed, and create a gap, drop the angle line down below the level of that, and then weld it across the top here, because that is angle line there that comes down there and then under the concrete. So we're going to cut a strip all the way along here off, sink it down, and then seal it up with mastic, and hopefully that will sort it. But this is the wood that we've taken out, and when the floor was put in, if I can do that, obviously it was just masticed like that. That wood was put in there like that, just to fill the gap and make it look right, but it wasn't right behind it. So we're going to sort it once and for all now. And just looking here where Nala is, you can see where the mice have been, because they've chewed that bit. So that's it for this midweek update. As you can see, I have had my haircut, which is better, and I was beginning to look like a tramp. So thanks very much for watching. On Sunday's update, we'll have a lot more in-depth look at the beans and what we're going to be doing with the capulet beans and how we sort those out, and a look at the establishing more stewardship plots. We've got those more to finish off, and a bit of cultivating the ground as well, and look around one or two of the crops. So thanks for watching this update, and we'll see you on Sunday.